Hey, it's Carla from MarketEdge.com. If you're looking to get more comfortable with point and figure charts, then you've come to the right place. We'll first learn how to read and interpret a point and figure chart in the first part of the video, but if you already know how to read a PNF chart, you can skip to the second part of the video where we will get some pro tips on trading stocks using PNF charts from our CMT, David Blake. He'll show you some really cool filtered stock lists on MarketEdge.com that do most of the work for you using PNF charts. And then he'll show you some tricks that he uses to narrow down stocks that he's interested in and even front run a new trend before everyone else jumps on board. You definitely won't want to miss that, so let's jump right into it. David, thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Great. I'm doing well and ready to learn more on some PNF charts that I've found has always been a weak point for me in my own stock trading ventures. Which stock would you like to take a look at to get started?
Yeah, pull up IYT. That's the ETF for the transports. Okay, now over here on the right side of the menu, we have this PNF chart. Let's go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
Okay, you hit here you have the series of X's and O's. X is when the stock of the index is going up. O is when you have a reversal and it's going down. Now, as you can see over here on these two X's over here on the side, if we trade above that X, which would be around 69 and a half, 69.50 on the IYT. If we trade above that, you're going to get another X, and that would represent a breakout, a double top breakout on the transportation index, and that would be a bullish sign, which means the next resistance would be where the next X's go. It was back in March, I believe. You see, if you see the numbers right below where your cursor is, you see that number 9. Not all point and figure charts do this because they're not really based on time. There's not a time element in that, in the fact that it could not move if the thing trades between, say, 65 and 69. We actually put a number in there, and those numbers represent the month of the year. So 9 shows that in September we got up here close to that 69 level. You look over there up the top of 71, you see that a 3 across there. That means that we were hitting a new high in the transports in March. So that we actually give you a little bit of a time element on the point and figure charts. And these are actually something to look at when you're looking to buy a stock or get more involved in the market. And the reason being is because point and figure charts are basically a pure supply and demand type of chart. That's all it looks at. If there's strong demand, things you'll be in a series of X's. If you have an overwhelming supply, then you're going to have a reversal and start going down. But when you look at these things, if you're thinking about buying something in here in the transports, if some people will buy the breakout, that means, okay, because it could come up with this if it trades the 69.40, 69.30, it could trade like that for 3 months. You may not want to be in it then, but once it does do the breakout, you'll get that X above there, and a lot of people will buy the breakouts, and so they're not involved in the stock or index until they get the breakout, then they go in. One of the things we have also on here, click on advanced tools, because if you're not using point and figure charts, you should be looking at them, at least making a buy or a sell on a stock. And we have something that's called point and figure early alerts. And what we do on this is something that's pretty neat. I don't know where else you're going to find them. Click on the alert buy signals. What we do is you have some traders that like to buy the breakouts, like I just told you. Well, we're going to go a step beyond that and help you out. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to give you the stocks that are about to break out. They haven't broken out yet, but you can put them on a list, and we'll give you the breakout price to boot. And that way you can put your ticket in ahead at the breakout price. So when you do see it break out, you buy the breakout into things. So you're front running all these point and figure chartists that actually go in there. Click on the formation for a minute. Okay, here's a list of double top stocks that if they do this, Deutsche Bank trades at 17.50. That means it's going to be breaking out of a double top. and that allows you can put your ticket in to buy it at 1750. If it hits that, you go long the stock. If it takes 3 weeks before it breaks out, you're not in it. You're not going to buy the stock until you actually get the breakout. Now, if you click on the power rating over here, also click on that again. Okay, now this is kind of neat to look also. So if you're looking at something to buy, this power rating shows you that not only are you, as a stock coming up to where it's going to have a point and figure breakout, you're actually going into that breakout with a lot of momentum behind it. The power rating has looks at a lot of different things. It's kind of a momentum index of our own. And in this case, this SHD, Goosehead Insurance, you may want to look at the volume because I've never heard of this thing. But a quadruple top means that this stock has gotten up to 90, up to around 92 4 times. There you go. You look at that. Every time it gets up to this 90 level, it can't get through it. So you sit on the sideline. But if you go ahead and put your ticket in here at 92, all of a sudden, boy, all this resistance, all these people that have been shorting the stock at 92 are going to go back and buy the thing. You're getting a quadruple top breakout, which is actually very rare, to tell you the truth. You don't see those very often, and that would be something you may want to look at. If it breaks through that, you're probably going to get a nice little pop on there. Click that formation thing again, the top there again. But here you can get the triple tops. Again, you can look at some of these that you're familiar with, like Auto Nation. Looks like you're going to get thing. Click on Auto Nation N down here. Yeah. Okay, see, here's a triple top. So Auto Nation keeps coming up here to this 184 level and can't quite get through there. That's strong resistance. If it gets through there, you're going to attract a lot of new buyers, especially investors that are short that stock, are going to say, let's get through this thing. As you can see over here, this little spike higher, whether it was earnings or whatever, that was out of a double top breakout there. You had the 2X's, and all of a sudden you had this big spurt from 184 up to 196. You had about a 12-point run in there before it reversed. That was a breakout. A lot of times when you get these breakouts, you'll get a spike and a long string of X's to go forward. If you look back going through there, several spots on here, back here in the middle of the chart, you have another double breakout, and it went from 168 up to 180. So when they break through these formations, demand and supply areas of resistance supply, you can get quite a nice run off of these things. Again, because a lot of investors that are short realize that they better cover in that area. And if you're not using that, I would take a look at that. Let's go back to that point and figure. Go back to the advanced tools again. And let's look at the early alerts. Okay, now go ahead and go down this page a little bit. And what I do a lot of times is I will look at some of the different things in here. Click that up so maybe you can get like 100 stocks or 50 stocks. Yeah, if 60, whatever. But what I will go down through and look at these things sometimes, and I will look to see an industry, because a lot of times you don't know it, but a lot of times what happens is you'll look at this thing and all of a sudden you'll see, wow, there's 8 banking stocks that are getting ready to break out of a triple top or a double top, or there's 5 or 6 or 7 semiconductor stocks that are getting ready to break out of a double top or triple top formation, or maybe restaurant stocks. And if you look at that, that means that not only are maybe a stock that you're looking at is getting ready to break out, that means the whole industry is breaking out. And that's really a big sign for you to say, okay, I'm looking at this. All these stocks are getting ready to break out in that sector, that industry. That's something you want to know, because that means there's a lot of buying going on across the board, not just one oil stock or one restaurant or something like that. If you look on there and you see, Domino's and Brinker and all these other restaurant stocks, Wendy's, whatever, that means that there's a lot of money going into those things, and that whole industry is going to break out of a pattern. And that's very, very bullish. And that's a good early sign to you that you want to be in that group, because the whole thing is getting ready to break out. So you should get in the habit of just looking at that maybe once a week, over the weekend or whatever, and just try to pick up things like that that what you may not think about it, but at the top there's a Sotera Health company. If there's other health companies that are in there, that's something that you may want to look at and say, okay, maybe the health sector is something that's going to break out. I want to be involved in that. So that's just a way that you can use that point and figure early alert and alerts, on a weekend or something like that, just to get some trading ideas. And that thing has been in use since for hundreds of years. In fact, I think it started with the old Chinese rice traders used to use that. That's how they would chart where prices were going with the X's and O's, and they would use that. Prices were going up, they would put their X's on a little chart, and when they have a reversal, a $3 reversal, then they would go into the zeros and start putting them that the trend was down. So that supply and demand type of charting is the oldest type of charting, I think, in the world. So it's been around. There's a reason why it's been around. It works. Just as we just did with the early alerts, click on PNF breakouts above on the right hand screen. And this is another one that where if you go into just like we just talked about with early alerts, you can do the same thing with this, and you can look at Yum Brands, so that's food or healthcare, whatever, insurance companies, whatever, semiconductors, and this will say, okay, well, these stocks broke out on Friday, so I want to be, they're already breaking out. Let me find one that's at an early alert, so I can buy something that's in an industry that's already breaking out with a bunch of stocks. So you're getting a laggard, but you're going to get something ahead of time that you can put your ticket in there, and when the breakout occurs, you're in.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, David. I always learn so much from you, and this was a topic that I personally needed more insight on. We learned how to read and interpret a point and figure chart in the first part of the video, and then we jumped into some awesome filtered stock lists on MarketEdge.com to speed up the process of finding stocks that are close to being tradable off of PNF breakouts. We also got some great pro tips from our own CMT and how he trades using these filtered stock lists. If you have any further questions, please feel free to send us an email at support@marketedge.com, or you can chat with us during business hours by clicking the live chat at the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Thanks for watching.